you could both come forward. Cristiano Foster. We'll start with you, ma'am. Good evening and welcome.
Yeah, me and my husband are actually together, if that's all right.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. I'm just going to introduce us.
He's the intro.
Don't worry, she'll do. Good evening, Chairwoman and members of the Judiciary Committee. My name is Jordan. This is my wife, Samantha. We're pastors of a church community in Smithfield and one here in Providence as well, a large church community. And we're here to represent them and to represent life. We love life, and we want to speak up for it. To us, this is not a political issue, and to us, this is not even a religious issue. This is a human moral issue. And so we want to tell you a little bit of our story.
Yeah, so when I was 37 weeks pregnant with our second child, I actually slipped and fell down a flight of stairs and broke my tailbone in 2 different places. Yeah, so painful as it was. 2 weeks later, at 39 weeks, I went into labor a week early, and I had been in labor before with my first child, but this one was a whole nother level because we obviously know childbirth is painful. Now you add on a broken tailbone to this, and I was really, at my limit. And the hardest part about it was I couldn't get comfortable. So for me to get comfortable, I would want to stand. And when I stood, I was hooked up on monitors, and they could monitor the baby. And every time I stood, the baby's vitals would drop, and they'd say, "We need you to lay down." But when I laid down, I was in instant pain. And so what we found was what caused me relief gave the baby instant pain. And when I was in pain, the baby had relief. We were 2 different bodies. Though he was in my body, he wasn't my body. Though we were connected, we were entirely unique.
And that was at 39 weeks. He was a unique life inside of her. And he was a unique life in the womb and out of the womb 2 hours afterwards. And this is what science is proving. This is not even a debatable thing. At 39 weeks, this is a fully formed life. And this is why the pro-life movement is growing, predominantly with young people, is because they do love science. They believe in science, and science is proving that this is life. Earlier and earlier and earlier, and the things we're able to do is amazing. And it was amazing to see the medical response to that situation all the way through. There were nurses and doctors and so many people coming into the room, helping my wife and helping our baby in the womb and out of the womb. When he came out, he was gray, he wasn't breathing, and it was looking really serious, and they called in every doctor in the place, and they turned on every machine, and they saved his life, and it was amazing when that happened. But the saving his life started in the womb, continued outside of the womb, because it was the same life all the way through, and it mattered. And so for us, we believe no man or woman should have the choice to end that life, especially in the 3rd trimester, especially in the 39th week. And I don't think that the ability to choose to end human life early I don't believe it's ever a win to be celebrated, no matter what. This is a serious subject, and you as legislators have the moral responsibility, and it is a moral one. You have the moral responsibility to make the humane choice. Please do not use your vote to devalue someone's personhood simply because they're inside of the womb.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for these witnesses? Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Chair Lynch-Prata and members of the Judiciary Committee, and thank you for your time and allowing Rhode Islanders to speak so passionately on this topic of life. My name is Christiana Foster, and I am a proud resident of the great city of Providence, and I'm here to voice my opposition for Senate Bill 152 Sub A. But more than that, I'm here to encourage you, our lawmakers, to boldly protect life. Here I have a petition that I started just a few weeks ago, which has over 8,300 signatures of people opposing these abortion expansion bills that are currently in Rhode Island. And I started this petition because at the last hearing in January, a couple of people mentioned a statistic where 71% of Rhode Islanders support these bills. However, I was at that hearing and I could not find the 71%. In fact, everywhere you looked, there was overwhelmingly a pro-life crowd. So that was the original reason I started the petition, but as time went on, this became so much more personal to me. Over time, I've had the opportunity to speak with so many people who have been affected by abortion. I've spoken with women who wanted to have an abortion, but the moment they heard their child's heartbeat, they knew there was a life to protect. And I've spoken with people who were adopted and were so thankful that their mom chose life. But what would always hit home for me was speaking with women who have had an abortion. I listened as they talked about the pain that they've held onto and kept quiet for years. Many of these women felt persuaded or uneducated. Many weren't warned about the feeling of loss or regret that they would carry for years. And so I listened to them, I loved on them, and it's because of them. It's because of their stories and their children that I could not stay silent tonight. Abortion has already silenced too many. It silenced the unborn children. It silenced the mom who feels the pain. It silenced the father who carries that shame. And you know, I've noticed that Planned Parenthood and many of the pro-choice people keep talking about freedom. Freedom to make a choice, freedom for women. But the very women that they cite are the ones I've spoken with. And abortion has brought them anything but freedom. So tonight, respectively, I urge you, our lawmakers, to be bold, be a leader, and create laws that protect freedom and the freedom of the littlest humans by protecting life. Thank you. And
Thank you.
actually, sorry, I would like to just submit this for public record, if possible.
Sure. Just to be clear, this isn't necessarily a public record, but certainly our clerk will take it and it'll be available to us so that we can review.